Baby is so much bigger now than when I got an ultrasound at like 7-8 weeks. So COVID did not affect baby. Recording, I had COVID for over 2 weeks, and that is the sickest I've ever been in my entire life. I was really worried about the baby. I lost like 10 pounds. But at the blood test, they took 12 vials of blood. Oh my god. After when she was done and put the little pad on, pulled the needle out, and I have to hold the pad on, my head got so hot and tingly, and my arm got so hot and tingly, and then my vision cut out, my hearing cut out. Yeah, that's the closest I've ever been to passing out from a blood test. I love myself now. I know my worth, and I know that I'm worth a lot more than the way people have treated me, or even family has treated me in the past. 16, and I am now a 21-year-old adult, and I have stabilized so much. My mom is actually the person who said to me, I don't think you have borderline personality disorder. And she's the one who took me to get diagnosed with it in the first place. So I, here, am Gen Z. I am undiagnosing myself with borderline personality disorder. Hi, long time no see. So I filmed a video this morning in the bathtub because that's the only time recently that I've felt okay enough. I took 2 Excedrin and got a little caffeine boost. There's 65 milligrams in each pill. I took 2, so 130 milligrams. I have not had that much caffeine in a while. I'm almost 15 weeks pregnant. I'm gonna be talking about my recent appointment, how I had COVID, but that's gonna be the next video. I'm gonna do a sit down and talk specifically about that and about all my symptoms and about how freaking horrible that was. The one time we decided to hang out with a friend, they came over with a cough, and I was severely sick for 2 weeks. And I'm actually uploading a video right now from when I was 11 weeks pregnant. I literally could not move for like 7 days because of COVID. But yeah, that's frustrating. That's gonna be the next video. But I talked about my recent appointment and blood draw and stuff. You're gonna see that. But I just wanted to cut in and say hello, looking normal. Yes, I have a scarf pulling my hair back because I can't deal with it anymore, and putting it up in a scrunchie or a hair clip like yanks my roots and my hair is falling out. So I can't find my headband either, so I'm using a gentle way to pull my hair back because I cannot take it anymore. And I'm also so over the ginger. I'm so over it. That's gonna be in the video that I'm posting right now, but I'm gonna be talking about the fact that I'm going back to dark brown. I don't want to damage my hair and go to like my natural dirty blonde color, because stripping henna is no easy job, and keeping up with ginger is impossible. Ginger hair, I think, is a little bit more rare than having naturally really blonde hair, but you can achieve blonde hair. You cannot achieve and keep ginger hair. You are lucky if you are a ginger. You are so beautiful and so lucky. I literally cannot keep it. It fades, it looks brown. I constantly have to dye my roots. I'm so over it. I miss my dark brown hair. Also, look at my nails. They're just growing so well because of pregnancy, but my hair is falling out from the root, which I'm also going to talk about in this video. So I'm going to cut in as I edit it on my iPad. I'm just going to sit here and edit this video really quick because I just wanted to I was in the bathtub and I got a little caffeine boost, and I'm still recovering from COVID. I tested negative Monday and it's now Saturday. But I still feel horrible. I have a horrible brain fog. I literally cannot think, and things are just not computing. I just don't feel good, and I'm very pregnant. Yeah, this is my most recent ultrasound from 2 days ago of baby, a little after 14 weeks. And baby is so much bigger now than when I got an ultrasound at like 7-8 weeks. So COVID did not affect baby, so far as we know. I'm gonna get an extra ultrasound because I had COVID. And yeah, I'm gonna be cutting in as I edit this video. I'm just gonna sit here and edit it now and cut back in when I have something to say so you guys don't have to stare at me in a dark bathtub the whole time. I'm sorry. I'm pregnant. I'm exhausted. This pregnancy is a lot harder, and I'm recovering from COVID, which I didn't want. This is the first time having COVID, and I did not expect at all it was COVID. These are my kneecaps, by the way. I'm in the bathtub again because I feel absolutely freaking horrible. This pregnancy has been absolutely terrible. It's been a lot worse than the last one, and that's hard to top because I had hyperemesis. 2 days ago, well, it's August 17th now. I've not been recording. I had COVID for over 2 weeks, and that is the sickest I've ever been in my entire life. I was really worried about the baby. I lost like 10 pounds. My stomach was like super thin, which it wasn't before, and I begged them for an ultrasound because I really wanted to make sure that the baby was still growing and that there was still a heartbeat and that everything was okay. And I had an ultrasound and like an appointment, my intake. It was like a 2-hour appointment 2 days ago. They let me have the ultrasound first so I could have peace of mind. It was just super quick, and the baby is super healthy. It was like 164 beats per minute. And the baby was so much bigger than it was, which I should have gotten an ultrasound anyway, because that's like my 14-week ultrasound, and I hadn't seen the baby since the baby was like 7.5, 8 weeks. So I mean, I should have gotten an ultrasound anyway. I shouldn't have even had to ask, but regardless, I've been getting such severe cramping this whole pregnancy that they put that down for a reason, and because of COVID. And apparently they want to, I didn't get to see Ozzy in my belly after 20 weeks. You have to get the 20-week anatomy scan, which I'm going to get in a few weeks, obviously, and that lasts an hour long. But they want to give me another ultrasound at like 26 to 30 weeks to make sure that there's no growth restrictions because of COVID. And they also had a woman come in and talk to me about being in a study for preeclampsia. I think because of COVID, because you're more at risk for preeclampsia if you have COVID, and especially as severe of a case that I had. Taking Paxlovid for 5 days was like the only thing that kept me from being hospitalized. And Paxlovid, my nose has been bleeding for the past week. Like, I have such intense brain fog. I'm so messed up from COVID. Touching on that a little more, I definitely feel like I have long COVID. My smell and taste is still really messed up. It was completely gone when I had COVID. And again, I'm gonna make an entire video about this, but trying to balance being like a normal 21-year-old with kids and like hanging out with people, it's just non-existent because they just don't care like you do. Like, don't come over if you have a cough, a runny nose, if you even feel the slightest bit off. I am pregnant. That means like when you're pregnant, your immune system is non-existent. I can get sick so easily, and I just wish people would like respect that. And not even like family who is grown and twice my age respects that. So it's just, this world is it's just so frustrating. If you do not feel good, don't go. Cancel your plans. If your kids don't feel good, don't send them to school where they can get other people sick, because you have no idea what people have at home. Some kids live with their grandparents. Some kids have immunosuppressed parents like I did. When I got sick, I couldn't be around my mom, and there was always kids at school whose parents would force them to go sick. If you are sick, stay home. Be a good parent. Be a good person. Don't go to someone who's pregnant and has a toddler's house if you are sick, or even feel like you have an itch in your throat. I am genuinely so tired of this. But I do feel like I have long COVID. After I was testing negative for COVID, I still felt like I had an ear infection and a nasal infection, just sinuses, whatever. And I'm still just getting bloody mucus coming out of my left nostril. My nose has been bleeding for like a week now. It's insane. The brain fog is so intense. My taste is messed up. My joints are so achy. And it's like, I'm pregnant and I feel like I have long COVID. I still have a dry cough that has been going on. I wake up and have cough attacks some nights, and that's not normal for me. I don't ever cough. Like, that's not like a normal thing for me. So it just sucks. If you're sick, stay home. You can make plans another time. It's just ridiculous. I can't be a normal 21-year-old, like, quite literally. I just can't be. And I just wish also family was better about that. But we will get into the fact that I'm going to be setting boundaries this time, because we're going to have a newborn in winter. So just keep watching the video. Like, I cannot even, I'm still hacking up so much mucus. I got diagnosed with COVID in early August, like August 2nd, 3rd, or 4th, I'm not sure. And now it's August 17th, and I still feel absolutely horrible. But at that appointment 2 days ago, they also gave me a pap smear, a breast exam. They listened to my lungs, which sounded fine, and my heart. She just did a body exam. But they covered all the bases. I didn't get to see, I saw the nurse practitioner last. And then, so I got the ultrasound and then had to sit in a room and do intake. They asked me about my whole family history. I had to tell them that my mom has mild spina bifida, so I have to do a blood test for that between 15 and 18 weeks. And they gave me a folder to put my packets in, and they were asking me about my hair loss because my hair has been falling out, like bunches of hair have been falling out from the root with the follicle on it. Like, it's not just breakage, it's like my entire strand of hair, a bunch of it. I'm salivating so bad right now, I'm sorry. I'm so nauseous. I am all the time. But packets, and then they gave me a bunch of papers that were for a lab that I have to take there and go get blood work, which I did yesterday. And they gave me the box for the genetic testing, which I went and did yesterday as well. I'm so nervous about that. You find out, like, if the baby has any of the trisomies, and they test for other genetic things that could be wrong with the baby, and also the gender, obviously. I'm sorry, I have such intense brain fog from pregnancy and COVID. I can barely, like, comprehend or think. I just feel confused all of the time. It was just a lot. I have a folder filled with paperwork that I can go through with you guys, but I don't know if you're going to want that. And they gave me papers with, like, all the different labs that I can go to. There's a bunch. But there was one right next to my house, so I went and did that one. But they were really, really nice. And I brought my packet of papers that had all the blood works that I need done and the box for the genetic testing, which my insurance covers. I did not do genetic testing with Ozzy. I had to wait until 20 weeks for the anatomy scan to know the gender and if everything was okay, which it was. He's perfect. And I should have known by the packet of paper how much blood that they would be taking. Because I was, like, telling Adam that I'm scared that it's going to be, like, 6 or 7 vials. And he was like, no, there's no way it's going to be more than, like, 4. She pulled 3 out alone from the genetic testing. I ended up getting 12 vials of blood taken out yesterday. I had a full breakfast. I was just panicking, wanting to get it done. That was a Friday. It's Saturday now. Adam, his work got called off because he's in lawn care. So when it rains really hard, they have to call off because they can't do their work. So he got called off, which was a blessing because I would not have been able to go get the genetic testing done. I wouldn't have been able to go get the genetic testing done until the following weekend, so next weekend. And the genetic testing and all the blood work, I don't know when the blood work comes back. I don't really care about what it is. They're testing for, like, a bunch of different things, my cultures. It was literally a list. They're testing everything. And I told her about my hair loss, so she was like, let's check your thyroid level. And I was like, okay, period, yes. Okay, I don't know how I forgot to say how I almost passed out from the blood test, but I think it was because I was, sorry, the iPad is just right here. I'm just editing the video. But I had the bathroom door open. You could hear cartoons in the background, freaking shark do, because he was in the room next to me. I had the bathroom door open, that door was open, and he was eating hash browns and eggs that I had cut up to bite-sized pieces for him. but he was eating and watching cartoons. He only gets like 1 to 2 hours a day of cartoons. When I'm cleaning or feeling like absolute crap, I threw up this morning in the bathroom, so I just got in a hot bath. Not too hot though, because I'm not allowed to because I'm pregnant. You can't do a lot of things pregnant. Deli meat is considered raw meat and you have to cook it. Like, it's just a lot. But at the blood test, they took 12 vials of blood, which I have not gotten that much in a long time. And even the, I think they're called phlebotomist, the lady who drew my blood, the nurse, phlebotomist, whatever it's called, she was so lovely. I left them a great review because they always send me surveys after appointments and whatever now. Left a great review. But before I got the blood test taken, she was like, they should have broken this up into 2 because this is a lot. And then when I saw her pull all the vials out, I was like, that's a lot. And she was like, yeah. And she said that a woman my age, so like 21, maybe she was 22, maybe she was 20 or 19, I don't care. She's probably a great mom, but she came in to get blood work like the good mom she was. I have no idea who she is. And it was her first pregnancy with twins. And she said that she passed out, like fully passed out, and I felt so bad. But then I got my blood taken and I did great as she was putting each tube by tube into my veins. She left the tourniquet on the whole time. I always do my right arm because this one is covered in veins and all my scars from when I was an edgy teenager. I have a lot of nerve damage, don't have prominent veins in this arm, so I always do my right vein. And she left the tourniquet on the entire time. My hand went completely numb, and I used to have really bad panic attacks where I would hyperventilate, and my hand would always do this and curl up and would be stuck like that. And that's what happened. Like, all the blood was gone from my arm. I've never had them like leave the tourniquet on. Usually they take it off like in the last few vials, but she left it on until the end, and my hand was stuck like that. And oh my god, after when she was done and put the little pad on, pulled the needle out, and I have to hold the pad on, my head got so hot and tingly, and my arm got so hot and tingly, and then my vision cut out, my hearing cut out, and my entire body got so hot, it was sweating. Like, my butt was stuck to the, I sweated. My brain fog is making me so stupid. I don't know the proper terminology for that. I think I sweated through my pants, and my pants and butt were like stuck to the lab chair. And I told her what was going on. She was like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "No, I feel like I might pass out or throw up." She yanked the trash can over there, pulled the armrests up, threw the lid off onto the ground, yelled for her, for another nurse, and she had to go deal with the blood and labeling the blood. And the other nurse came in, grabbed a clipboard, and started like violently fanning me, which, oh my god, nothing could have been better in that moment. She got me water. She put a cold, wet towel on my, like a paper cloth on the back of my neck and my forehead, and was just like violently fanning me, which is literally everything I needed. I put my head down onto the trash can and closed my eyes, and she was like, "Ma'am, nope, open your eyes and put your head up." And that actually helped a lot too, but I wanted to lay down. I actually almost passed out. But yeah, I actually almost passed out. That's the closest I've ever been to passing out from a blood test. I've been close before, but that was more from like me like not breathing because I was so scared. But I was making sure to take deep breaths. I didn't have my legs crossed. I took all the steps. I had a full meal beforehand. They just took so much, and yeah, that's the closest I've ever been to passing out from a blood test. She was on it, and I was so here for it. I will get another vial to check my thyroids, and it could just be pregnancy related. I have been so much less stressed since becoming pregnant and getting a new car. Like, I feel like I've just been living on cloud 9 until COVID, but my hair was falling out in clumps before COVID. It has nothing to do with COVID. Anyway, Oh my god, I did not know it was going to be that much blood though, but they're testing for like HIV, hepatitis B and C, like things that I literally just got tested for like 2 months ago or 3 months ago when I went to the OBGYN. I said I want the full workup. I want everything. I want to make sure that I don't have anything wrong with me, you know. I want all of the whatever, chlamydia, gonorrhea, I want all of it. There's nothing wrong. What is it? HPV, just all of that stuff. There's nothing wrong. Even if you're in a relationship and you trust your partner, you should still get it done because you just never know. I always ask for it. Just to be, so I'm not worried about that, but I am worried about the genetic testing, which is not coming back for another 7 to 10 business days. So that's just weekdays. So I have to wait 2 weeks because I went on a Friday. So they probably, I don't know if they put all that in, or I think you might have to ship the blood. I have no idea how that works, but so I'm gonna have to wait 2 weeks to know. We wanted to have the gender written down like on a little, I'm so sorry, my brain is not working. We wanted to have someone write the gender down on a piece of paper and go get it like a tiny little cake made to cut. But I'm so nervous about like the genetic stuff. Like honestly, I would have been a lot less nervous about anything wrong with the baby, and I knew everything was going to be fine until I got doing the genetic test. I'm like, fuck, what if something's wrong? That's mental illness for you. That's anxiety for you. I'm also getting, this is so like sidetracked, but they're also undiagnosing me with borderline personality disorder because I actually don't have it. I just have really severe PTSD, if not CPTSD, which is like mind-boggling to me. But I literally noticed this like a year or two ago. Can you stop meowing? Why are you bothering me in the bathtub? After not being a teenager anymore, because apparently I was a devil child, I was just a normal teenager. I did do some bad things, but I also have PTSD from my childhood. I was abused and neglected as a child, and I had to sit there and watch my parent be high and have him take me high, and I just learned some really, really scary things from my oldest brother, who was 10 years older than me. I was 3 or 4 when we left him. But yeah, I just found out that my biological father was on a lot more drugs than I thought. He would down a 5th of alcohol, take like 6 Xanax, and then shoot up black tar heroin. And he like put a gun to my brother's head a few times, like just horrible things. He was a horrible person. I didn't even get that abuse from him, but he did neglect me. I just saw him sitting there high. I knew he was high. He crashed with us high, like still really messed up stuff. But I have PTSD from my childhood, and I was a really hormonal teenager with severe anxiety and depression. So all of that, I was taking drugs because that's all I saw my dad do. And then my mom every night would drink, and then her drinking got worse when we moved in with my stepdad, and they were downing a bunch of, like a whole bottle, if not more, of wine a night. All I saw was people cover up their emotions with substances. So that's what I did. I had risky sexual behavior for 1 year when I was 16. And then I moved in with Adam at 17, a month after I turned 17. All of that and like the severe dissociation and anxiety, that all stems from my PTSD. And they think it might be PTSD, but I have to get evaluated. It's not just you don't have BPD and you have this, but I already know that I have PTSD. I was diagnosed with it when I was 18. So it's just crazy. Because now I don't qualify for borderline personality disorder. I don't have ups and downs all day anymore. I'm not a hormonal teenager. I'm an adult now, and I'm a lot more stabilized. I just have some anxiety. I don't even know the last time I had a panic attack. My brain is so foggy because of pregnancy and stuff. But I don't do drugs. I don't have a problem. Like, I didn't have a problem with alcohol before I got pregnant this time. I had 2 drinks on my 21st birthday. But besides that, I literally never drunk. I just don't have issues like I used to. I don't have risky sexual behavior. I'm like repulsed by sex. I just don't qualify for BPD anymore. And I see why they diagnosed me with that, but they diagnosed me way too early at 14. I was a teenager. I was hormonal. I had a horrible childhood, which my mom would never bring up to people. She would just say I was an awful teenager. But needless to say, like, that's just so insane to me. I haven't talked to you guys in so long. Okay, so I'm on the DSM-5 criteria for borderline personality disorder. Number 1, frantic efforts to avoid real or imagined abandonment. I could give a fuck less now. All I care about is being there for my children. I really don't care who's in my life or not. My main priority is my children. So, no. A pattern of unstable and intense relationships. Blah, 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 blah. Nope. I'm totally fine with cutting people out of my life and having people who fill me up as a person in my life. Identity disturbance. Marketably and persistently unstable self-image or sense of self. Absolutely not. The only thing I like to change is my hair. Like, I don't feel like I need to change anything about myself anymore. Love my skin tone, don't want any plastic surgery or anything to change myself. I'm perfectly happy for the way that I am, and I feel like, I don't know, I love myself now. I know my worth, and I know that I'm worth a lot more than the way people have treated me, or even family has treated me in the past. That was number 2. That was number 3. Number 4, impulsivity in at least 2 potentially self-damaging areas: spending, sex, substance abuse, reckless driving, binge eating. I have a problem with absolutely none of that anymore, except for eating. I have a little bit of problems eating, but I always have, because that was never like controlled as a child. My mom wasn't home, she was working. I was able to eat whatever I want. I've always had an issue staying away from the junk food. Number 5, reoccurrent suicidal behavior, gestures or threats, or self-manipulating behavior. Absolutely not. Not had a suicidal thought in a long time. I just have really severe anxiety. But I have had severe anxiety since I was 3, and I had really bad separation anxiety from my mom because I was abandoned as a child, which I see why they diagnosed me with borderline personality disorder, but I honestly get angry that they did it at such a young age because I was still developing, and I still am. I'm 21. My brain is still developing, but I'm a lot more stable now because of the things that I have been through. But anyway, I don't feel the need to change anything about myself. I don't harm myself anymore. I don't even tattoo myself anymore, but I do eventually. I'm an artist. I paint. I love art. I love tattoos, and I do want to eventually cover up the self-harm marks that I do have, but they don't bother me either. I really could give a fuck less now, honestly. Yeah, I haven't hurt myself in a long time. I love to do the occasional piercings, obviously not while pregnant, but I keep them in. I love art. I love decorating myself. There's only 9 traits that you have to, or requirements that you have to meet. I'm on number 6. So 6 is affective instability due to marked reactivity of mood. So intense mood changes, intense episodes of dysphoria, irritability, or anxiety, usually lasting a few hours or rarely more, which I disagree with that. People that I've seen with BPD are up and down, like within an hour. They're sad, happy, and drugs completely change that. Like, this is how it is. And I don't get that anymore. I do have really bad anxiety, and I'm in therapy. I've had I think 8 sessions now of therapy. I love her. She's younger, and she lets me just get everything off my chest and asks me great questions. And obviously I get irritable sometimes, but I'm a mom with a toddler on no sleep. I'm pregnant, and I'm getting over COVID, but that's also a no. So from 6 out of 6 have been a no for me so far. 7, chronic feelings of emptiness. I don't feel empty at all anymore. I was just a really hormonal grunge teenager, edgy, whatever you want to say. My paintings, my child, being pregnant, cooking and eating, cleaning my house and having a clean, good smelling home, even my wax melter. These things all fill me up with joy. All of my plants. I love nature and being outside and hiking. It's been way too hot. These winter hikes pregnant are going to be the best. But no, that's a no for me. I don't have chronic feeling of emptiness. 8. Inappropriate, intense anger or difficulty controlling anger. Frequent displays of temper, constant anger, reoccurrent physical fights. No. That's an absolute no for me. Obviously, I get angry or upset sometimes, but again, I have a toddler who tests me so much, and I don't lose it, and I don't constantly feel angry. I mean, you can go back and see how I acted and what the things that I said as a teenager, because I have this vault on my YouTube channel from when I was 16, and I am now a 21-year-old adult, and I have stabilized so much. My mom is actually the person who said to me, I don't think you have borderline personality disorder, and she's the one who took me to get diagnosed with it in the first place. Well, that's a no for me for number 8. So number 9, the last one, transient stress-related paranoid ideations or severe dissociative symptoms. So when I lived in Dayton, I was paranoid someone's gonna break into my house. That is a completely like normal thing to fear when you live in a horrible neighborhood. I am scared of my neighbor's dog that has tried to attack multiple children. I think that this is talking about like delusional paranoia. That doesn't make any type of sense. Like, someone is trying to poison me, there are people out to get me type of thing, which I don't have. And the dissociative symptoms, I have severe dissociation, which my therapist pointed out is a huge part of PTSD. That's another thing that led them to diagnose me with borderline personality disorder, because my mom never talked about my childhood. And I was so young, I didn't know how to describe my feelings and what I went through as a child, and I still hadn't even fully come to terms yet with what had happened to me as a child. So I totally understand. I was abusing drugs. I was just so out of it. I was constantly dyeing my hair, but again, that's like a normal girl thing. You gotta scratch that itch. But 9 out of 9, no. I don't meet a single requirement to have borderline personality disorder. So I here am Gen Z. I am undiagnosing myself with borderline personality disorder. I have never diagnosed myself with something. I have always went to a medical professional, but this is just so insane. I do have post-traumatic stress disorder. I had a terrible childhood, and I was I don't even like to say it. I was sexually assaulted when I was 16 years old by a few different people. I had really traumatic experiences as a teenager. There have been multiple events that have caused me to have nightmares every single night, and pregnancy has made them so much more vivid and just awful. So yeah, I understand why they saw that in me, but I wish that someone actually would have taken the time to understand my whole history and diagnose me properly. I mean, they literally diagnosed me with ADHD and gave me Adderall, and it would keep me up for days on end, which if you have ADHD, Adderall puts you to sleep. It calms you down, makes you a little more stable. Because of having COVID, and I still need to talk about how horrible COVID was, and I was really scared for the baby. But I'm gonna find out the gender in about 2 weeks, and we're probably not gonna do a gender reveal anymore. Yeah, we're not gonna do a gender reveal anymore. We're just gonna open the file, make sure everything's okay. We actually saw, since I'm like 14 weeks, we saw the genitals, but we couldn't really tell what they were because the baby is so thin, no fat on the baby. It could have been either or. It wasn't like a clear image. The ultrasound tech said that she couldn't even tell for sure. But we were leaning a little bit towards boy, which I would be so happy with, and we already have literally everything for a boy. But yeah, I'm excited. I need to sit down and make a video about COVID, because I've not been doing much of anything
I feel so horrible. I definitely have long COVID. I feel like I still have like some type of sinus infection. And every time I had orange fluid just dripping from my nose, this nostril yesterday. And then this nostril has still just been bleeding for freaking a week. Every time I blow my nose, it's just blood coming out of this one. Not this one. This one. My left nostril, if you're curious. This is the first time I've ever had COVID. It was like worse than I ever could have expected. I don't know, it's just a lot. And there's a lot with pregnancy. I have to go get a bunch more blood draws. I'm going to get the flu shot to make sure I don't get sick, because when you're pregnant, you have your immune system is so suppressed. You can get sick so easy. We're not going to be going to any family events this winter. No Christmas parties, no nothing. That's not happening because people don't stay home when they're sick, which is how we got COVID in the first place. I have to get the Tdap shot again, which is a have to for me. I'm not going to have a baby with whooping cough. And I don't know, I'm just going to place a lot more boundaries this time because the baby's due date is February 15th. Imagine if I have a Valentine's Day baby. That would be so cool. And yeah, I'm just going to place a lot more boundaries this time because I'm going to have a newborn in winter, and my immune system is so freaking suppressed right now, and it will be when I'm breastfeeding and just gave birth. No school-aged kids can come. Like last time, Adam's niece got brought by his stepmother without even asking me, so I had a 6 or 7 year old in the room when I gave birth. I'm not going to even have them near the baby until the baby's probably about 2 months. Because again, they have to go to school. No school-aged kids, no toddlers, no runny-nosed kids. And only 2 people at a time, and you have to take a COVID test before you come. I'm not doing that. I didn't even really want people seeing the baby until about 6 weeks because I'm just so scared of getting sick. I have a toddler. I'm going to be up all night breastfeeding. I don't want anyone getting me sick. But yeah, people just don't respect that, and people didn't respect that last time with Ozzy. In 2022, it was the worst year for COVID and RSV, and I had to quite literally threaten Adam's family and say that if you keep kissing him, because I've asked you about 10 times now, we're not going to take him over to see you anymore. Not until summer. And they finally stopped. But this time, having a baby in February when I'm already getting sick so often, I just had freaking COVID and I'm not recovered. We're definitely not going to any family events this Christmas or this anything. We're not going anywhere. And if anyone wants to come see the baby, they have to take a COVID test first. 2 people at a time. If you're sick, it sucks that I have to remind people, but it's more Adam's dad's side of the family. If you have any type of infection, sickness, viral, bacterial, I don't care, do not come. If you have a cough or runny nose, do not come. Because they will. And it sucks. No school-aged kids. I don't care if you bring me food. I don't care about all that. Just, it just sucks. It sucks because Adam's dad's side of the family got mad at me when Ozzy was a baby. We even, during the COVID and RSV season, we went to the Christmas Eve party, and there was a baby there with RSV coughing, and they were like, no one here is sick in our family, we're all good. And they treated me like shit.